This is my Hatchhyack OverRealm Time Burn deck. One copy of the leader. 4 Super Saiyan 4 Goku Beyond All Limits. 4 Dark Broly Heartless Berserker. 4 Super Saiyan God Trunks Powered Awaken. 4 Trunks Power Overseeing Time. 4 Black Smoke Dragon Accumulate Negativity. 4 Black Max Saiyan Assassin from the Darkness. 4 Gohan Hostile Saiyan Encounter. 4 Oceanus. 4 Goku Making an Entrance. 4 Goku with Adventure Begins. 4 Star Ball. 4 Instant Transmission 10 times Kamehameha. 4 Super Saiyan 4 Bardic Spirit Resonance. 4 Demon God Poutine and Gravy. And 4 Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta Supreme Saiyan Power. Obviously, the time burn thing is trying to have more life than your opponent, so when time runs out, especially in best of one, you'll win by just having more life than your opponent. Even if you're doing best of 3, as long as you end up in a situation where you have more life than your opponent, you'll typically win. So that's the time burn thing. Obviously, you can win to just burning your opponent out, or just flat out KOing them, or even potentially milling them out to like Oceanus. So those are some options, obviously, ways you can win. But one of the easiest ones to manage and control would be the time burn, because the deck is obviously very defensive. You already know what Hatchhyack does already. It makes it where you have a high defensive position, platform to play from. Right, so it's a time burn. Definitely, the strategy definitely works for this leader. Some of the defensive cards in the deck, obviously, is Black Mass Saiyan, Assassin of Darkness, because of his active battle ability to play him for 1 energy. And typically we want to play him on our opponent's turn, so we can get the Senzu Bean-like ability of choosing one of our cards and it gets 5k power for the turn, which obviously we're going to use it on our leader, so we can, and since this is mono black, obviously we will be awakening the leader, so we can get our leader up to 20 just by using that. Has limit 1, so obviously we can't stack the card, but we only need to at least play 1 to make it harder for our opponent to hit our leader. Let's see. And then we have, for more floodgate defense, obviously Oceanus. It's a blocker, plus it negates an attack, so you can potentially stop 2 attacks, as well as make it where if your opponent attacks, they have to mill 4 cards every time they attack, so further reducing the number of attacks they could try to do. And we could potentially win through decking them out, or at least just have some more control. We have some basic negates like make an entrance Goku, instant transmission 10 times Kamehameha, right? And Gohan, the fact that you can play from the drop or your warp for free. It's limit 1, but that 1 is all you need, right? By having 4 or less life, which is very useful to take. You have to take a life in order to play, so you have to have 4 or less life, take a life, and then take a card from your hand, place it in the bottom of your deck, which will more likely to be the card you took from your life. And then you play this card in rest mode and negate the attack, so you won't be able to use this as a combo because it'll be in rest mode, but you can at least use it to stop an attack. The card that you obviously add, like I said, you add a card from your life to your hand, and you take a card from your hand and put it at the bottom of your deck, so that can help you reduce the possibility of you decking out. So there's that, and then for so that's all the defensive cards, negates. Of course, we have a little bit of a floodgate ability just with Bardock. His -2 ability making it hard for your opponent to attack unless they choose 1 card from their hand and send it to the warp. So that's enough floodgate, so you can activate that effect, and then on top of that, do the Senzu Bean thing, right? Or negate an attack, or Oceanus, and this, obviously combos pretty well to make it hard for your opponent to attack. So definitely want to synergize those two, as well as just out comboing attacks. We have 4, and then for the OverRealm aspect of the deck, of course, we got Goku Beyond All Limits. He's OverRealm 6, so you can just play him for free by just overwhelming 6 cards. Dark Broly, same thing, OverRealm 6. But Dark Broly has the added ability that has the active main when you pay 2, since your leader is black. You can play this card from your warp, so there's some warp playability in this deck, so we got that. So we got 30k we could play for the warp from the warp for 2 energy. So obviously you can potentially combo, get these 2 out in the same turn. Obviously it would be hard to attack with both because of the leader's effect, but it's the fact that you can play both of them. In case you need 2 level 6s in play, right? But we do have Trunks, which is dual attack, which is important. So his ability to attack twice is always useful, or anything to attack twice is always useful, especially when it comes to negates and blah blah blah, right? Or blockers and whatnot. So then he can be played from the warp, but when he leaves the field, he gets removed from the game. You pay 2 black in order to do that, since your leader's black, but you need 8 or more cards in your warp in order to do that. So obviously, we overwhelming, so we can try to get that 8 cards to play him. So those are some options. Goku has the effect that when you play him with overwhelm, you can choose one of your opponent. You can choose one of your battle cards with energy cost between 3 and 7 from your warp and add it to your hand. This is this as well as Trunks power overseeing time. Obviously, it's for the purpose of helping us recycle cards, specifically our Oceanuses, and our Black Man Saiyans, so we can keep doing the floodgate thing, because we don't need to recycle our Dark Brolys or our Trunks or our Gohans, because we can always play them from the warp. We don't have to grab our making the entrance Goku or our Goku Adventure Begins, because obviously, oh wait, you said power burst, so I took it out. Yeah, you can still grab them if need be, but I did have power burst originally, but I wanted to go with the instant transmission 10 times Kamehameha because of its ability to let you put up to 2 black battle cards from your warp into your drawback, so it just helps refill for your overwhelm. So getting cards back into the drop so you can overwhelm. That's why I have it instead. The fact that you can deliberately add this back from your drop to your hand by putting the Dark Brolys and the Trunks into the warp on purpose, just to add this back and use it to obviously negate attacks, and then you can always play them from the warp. Just the same thing with like Gohan. So we got some stuff that's worth warping for instant transmission 10 second. So there's synergy there. Of course, that's Zeno Goku Super Saiyan 4 on the art, which is Beyond All Limits Goku on the art. So there's some theme there. But anyway, so that's the basic stuff there. Of course, Trunks is double strike, so that's helpful against Unisons, and of course just helpful in dealing a lot of damage that they did, so always have more life than your opponent. Then we have Black Smoke Dragon for its unison killing capabilities, because it definitely comes in handy in certain situations. Unisons do tend to be hard to get rid of, and a lot of times you don't care about unisons, you tend to ignore them, but there are those rare occasions where there's some problematic unisons that you just can't ignore. This helps you take care of this. It's nice to have a unison killer in the deck, but the main thing is it's its ability to ignore barrier and warp a battle card, 7 cost or less, which is the main reason we have the card. So for 2 energy, play it from your hand in order to get its effect. Everything here typically is like 2 or less energy. Typically, we're trying to keep our energy low because the idea to play cards, because we want to keep energy up to play cards on our opponents. The whole idea is to mainly play more on our opponent's turn, less on our turn. So that's why we got stuff like Oceanus, Goku, and making energies. Even this, this we can play for free on our opponent's turn. So it's nice to have a free negate. So we don't have, in case we run out of energy, 1 black energy for this, so we can send a bean, right? That kind of stuff. Of course, the instant transmission 10 times Kamehameha. So the idea is to make sure we have energy up all the time, at least 1 or 2 energy to play our defensive cards. So that's the thing. You mainly want to play defense, right? Keep your defense up. And you know, a lot of good strong stuff here. Obviously, Bardic lets us draw a card by adding a marker. And it's a 15k body, so we can swing with it every turn. Take advantage of that. This has the -3 active main ability, which lets us choose all of our opponent's battle cards and send them to the warp. So we got a board wipe it in case you need it, in case your opponent goes a little too hard, a little too wide. At least have a board wipe to slow your opponent down. Has Empower Black 2, which comes in handy, especially if you've been playing this for a couple of turns, and then it has a lot of markers on them, and you can just transfer 2 of them over to this thing. Especially if you use this thing to -2 to trigger its floodgate ability, right, and then play this to take the last markers off, to give it to itself, so you can have more markers. So that way you can play, have like 5 markers at least on it. Remove 3 so you can do its -3 in case you need to clear the board. Right, so you trigger the floodgate, clear the board, right? So there's some synergy there. Just further controlling the board, the game, so that we can stay in the game longer. Because then your opponent has to start doing stuff, and then of course that wastes his time if they have to rebuild the board and blah blah blah. The usual time burn stuff. It has a +1 active battle ability, which is nice because you can use it on your opponent's turn. That when you combo one of your black cards, of course only once per turn you can do this. Once per battle, you trigger the effect to power boost one of your black battle cards by 5k combo power. So anything that doesn't have combo power, like your Goku making an entrance, or even your Black Mask Saiyan, which typically won't try to combo it, but if you have to combo it, at least you can combo it and at least give it 5k. But you typically want to use it on something that has 5k combo power, so it becomes 10k. So it's kind of like a super combo. So it has the ability to turn something into a super combo, which is always nice for those, for those things, moments you need it. And it has the auto that if this card, if there's 4 more markers on this card when you play it, then you can choose one of your opponent. Your opponent sends 1 card from their hand to the warp. So it's a good way of getting rid of 1 card from their hand. So that's one less card they can play, and then you can board wipe them. So that means they have to play more cards from their hand. So that's further ripping their hands even more by that combination. So just playing it 4 more markers, then minusing 3 to clear opponent's board can get you up there. So like I said, if you synergize it with Bardic, make it harder for them to attack you, right? And then of course Bardic's effect could rip more cards. So there's some hand control-y shit going on there. You can take advantage. Plus, you drop Oceanus, right? For example. A lot of fun. And the idea is to try to get to 8 or 9 energy, like I said, because you can use Vegeta Supreme Saiyan Power to either win the game, right? Because it has the ability where you -5 markers from this card, pay 4 black, send 1 card from your opponent's life to the warp, so you can end them out, or just make sure that they have one life less than you before time runs out, and then bang, you can win that way. Which is why we call it time burn. And your leader has to be black for his auto, and then he has a +2 ability that when you activate OverRealm skill, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. I guess +2 markers. So this has OverRealm capability, so you could try to take advantage of that, just to give it markers so that we can try to use them more than once, especially if you can use it to burn, like right, OverRealm, give him markers, and then do his ability to burn, warp one's life. Then next turn, if he's still on the field, try to get some more markers on him, and then try to do it again. But I typically try to do this all in one shot, because you're going to need a total of 9 energy, or 8 if you have a second copy of him, of course. So you play him for 4 energy, right? So that we have 4 left over, 4 black, and then attach a second copy of him to it to give him markers. So he has 5 markers, and that way you can remove 5 markers and pay 4 black to warp your opponent's life. So if you have 2 copies of him and you have 8 energy, which shouldn't be that hard to do, this deck, bang, you can burn your opponent for 1, or you can try to do some things of playing playing the card early and then overwhelming to give it markers and then try to do its effect, protect them long enough to, get to the next turn to be able to use its effect however way you want. And that'll be the end of the video. Almost forgot. Hate when this happens. Pretty much all my decks will have at least Z battle cards, right? So that way I just have extra potential attackers. So it's always nice to have, especially if you go up against hand control. You definitely want to have some Z battle cards. So we have the Demon God, Demigra, Begrudging Ally, 4 copies, and then we got 4 Goku for the mission, 4 copies of that. So we have at least 8 battle cards we could use. This one has unique, so you can only have one at a time in play, and we just mainly use it as a 15k body. So there's that. Obviously, the better card is it does have some OverRealm, Dark OverRealm type of effect that lets you warp. So we'll be using that as well. So we play them out and then OverRealm. That would help you get rid of one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 6 or less, and then it's warp. So it does play, obviously into the OverRealm aspect of the deck. So it's a 15k body, plus it helps us get rid of one of our opponent's battle cards if we use it. Especially if you use this with Dark Broly, you get to get rid of 2 of your opponent's battle cards. So that's the synergy there you want with that. And then Goku for the mission, right? He's crit, so he's 15k crit, so he's a cheap. You only need just 1 Z energy and then pay 2 black energy, so a total of 3 just to play him out. If I understand how the energy thing work, Z cards work. So play him out, 15k crit. You can take advantage of that. And then he has the active main once per turn. For every 7 black battle card in your war, this card gains 5k power for the turn. So if you have 14 black battle cards in your war, you could potentially be a 25k crit for essentially 3 energy. So it has some use, right? But it being a 15k crit, it just makes it good. And of course, we have multiple copies, so we can be able to try to play it, attack with it, play it, attack with it. That kind of synergy where we don't have to use up our hands for playing stuff. We can just use our hands for other stuff. And that'd be the end of it.